Hello everyone, this is the Mind of Lilith and welcome to another Open Mind Intuitive Tarot message for the collective. This message will be timeless in nature and I want to focus on the significant energies that are prevailing at this time, specifically for my audience or my subscribers. Okay, so we do have Jupiter in Cancer conjunct the Sun in Cancer, square Saturn and Neptune in Aries. Okay, so this is really interesting. Saturn is the planet of limitation, restrictions, fear, lessons, hard work, practicality, etc. And it's debilitated in Aries. Jupiter is the planet of opportunities, growth, expansion, optimism, new experiences, new opportunities, excitement about the world, wisdom, etc. Both are dealing with wisdom. Jupiter and Saturn are planets involving wisdom. Okay, so what it seems like is like there's this tug of war between being optimistic and being skeptical or pessimistic. There's a fear of being too happy, a fear of being too free, of not having responsibilities, a fear of new opportunities, potentially being cautious about new opportunities. Now, Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, which represents familiarity, closeness, family, caution, being safe. So there's an energy of cautious optimism, cautious hope, like being presented with a new opportunity, but maybe thinking it's too good to be true, maybe looking for the other shoe to drop, maybe this opportunity is triggering deeply rooted feelings of inferiority or insecurity, but you're like, okay, I'm supposed to be happy, but I'm not. What's wrong here? So maybe there's something that you've always wanted. You're getting what you've always wanted, but for some reason you're not too enthusiastic about it, or you're not as excited about it as you thought you would be due to this transit. Okay? Yeah. If you have the moon in Cancer, the moon in the 5th or the 4th house, or Cancer in the 5th and the 4th house, there's a possibility of a pregnancy this year. So this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. It's a very fertile time. Jupiter is very strong in Cancer. Okay, so perhaps you'll be able to attract or manifest more opportunities or take advantage of opportunities once you resolve deep long-standing emotional issues, childhood traumas that cause you to sabotage your opportunities, being emotionally triggered by things that you can't control, even if it's in your best interests. If things are happening beyond your control or unexpectedly, you could sabotage them, or like recoil or retreat and out of fear and sabotage yourself in the process. Overthinking things, not wanting to get too emotionally attached, so you detach, but in like a destructive way. So maybe attached detachment. You should be concerned about what's going on, but not to the point where it's controlling your entire day, right? So if an opportunity is coming your way and you are hopeful about it, make sure that you're not so invested in the outcome that you'll be devastated if things change. So you need to have some emotional boundaries. Be aware of projections too. Projecting a fantasy on a situation and making it more than what it is. Especially if you have a Venus in a cardinal sign. Venus in Libra, Capricorn, Aries, or Cancer. You could be very idealistic about love this time, or an opportunity. Right, so there's like idealism and caution because you've learned your lessons in the past. Saturn's about, our past experiences, past life or earlier life experiences. So now we have the wisdom that comes with age. Jupiter's wisdom comes from like education and philosophy and thinking about new ideas and learning from experience, right? But not necessarily age. Saturn is age and Jupiter is experience. Two different things. They could be synonymous, but not necessarily, because you could have a lot of experiences and be really, really young, right? And you could be really old, but not wise. So there's wisdom that comes from experience and wisdom that comes with age. And so because of your past experiences, you're cautiously optimistic about whatever this is. What card came out? The one day card. Someday, somewhere, another time. Something in the distance. A fantasy, an illusion in your imagination. Something in your mind. Something that... Okay, so here's what I'm seeing here. We have a concrete or brick wall. Something that's hard, rigid, stuck. Boundaries. This is Saturn energy. This is Saturn and Neptune together. Because someday represents a fantasy. It's the future. It's not here in the present. It's not tangible. So this is something that you may have manifested or materialized from your imagination. Like maybe a career objective or goal, a relationship, something that you wanted for a long time that was not tangible to you, or that you could not quantify, that you did not possess. This is like your wishes and dreams coming true. Something that you put out into the ethers a long time ago is materializing. The one day is actually here. Cancer, the heart. Leo's the heart too. But the one day is actually here. And this is a time thing. So something that you wanted a long time ago is coming into fruition, and you were afraid that it would never happen, or you've been through so much stuff since then that this opportunity is met with some anxiety, maybe some Four of Cups energy, some rejection or some disinterest. This is Neptune and Saturn together. You getting what you wish for, but then realizing maybe that it's not what you really wanted, or it's not what you thought it would be. We'll find out. Spirit guides, what's happening for the collective, please? For my subscribers specifically, as it pertains to the energy surrounding today's reading. At the time of this message, what are the energies affecting my subscribers specifically? Someday. This is Neptune and Saturn. Or Saturn in the 12th house. Saturn conjunct Neptune. Square opposite Neptune. You may have that natally in your charts. Like delayed gratification. And the gratification was so delayed that you've grown wise from the delay. You've become wise about it. You're more mature. So this is not the end all be all that you thought it would be. Chasing, something you were chasing. Pursuit, toxicity, resilience. And usually people chase fantasies, or they chase projections or ideals or things that they haven't grasped or obtained yet. So this is an idea, this is a goal, a belief system, a value, a relationship. We do have this obsidian heart here, which is black like Saturn, represents blocking out negative energies. Chasing, pursuit, toxicity, and resilience. And you've become resilient because you've had to wait for this for so long. But now that is somewhat obtainable, or it's in your sights, or your reach, you're like nervous about it. It's like chasing after a guy or a job or a girl, whatever, for so long that you're afraid that the fantasy won't match the reality of what it is. So while you were waiting for this to come about, you perhaps like heaped on a bunch of illusions and fantasies about what this could be once it materialized. And now that it's almost here, you're like, oh, what if it's not what I thought it would be? The idea or the fantasy of what this was keeping you going. It was giving you faith, or is giving you something to look forward to. Now that it's almost here and you're like, is that all? Or do I really want this now? Because now you're older and wiser. And you have more knowledge. Jupiter. Twin flame reverse. Yes. Mirroring, shared feelings, and reflection. Right. Do I really want this? You could have been chasing a person. Or you could have been fantasizing about somebody and, hoping and wishing. This is like more than 7 years, maybe. 7, 14, 21 years going after the same thing, same person, same goals. A long struggle. And it's here now. But I can't help but to notice this heart is flat. It's not three-dimensional. It's like it's an illusion almost. It's not something that you can enjoy or hold on to because it's flat. It's not like this. There's no dimension to it. And it lacks dimensionality because it was an illusion. It was a fantasy. So now that it's here, what's going on? Memories. Should be upright. Reminiscing, bittersweet. Right. Memories, again, your thoughts, your fantasies, Neptune, loyalty, Saturn, trusting, reliability, and believing. Something is here. I'm not seeing one day. This is now here. Something you wanted the whole time when you were a kid, or when you were growing up, or you met someone years ago, you wanted them to commit to you. It's finally here, but bittersweet. Trusting, reliability, believing. These are memories. This is Jupiter in Cancer and the Sun in Cancer. You chasing a memory of what you thought this was? Are you loyal to the idea of what this person is? Are you loyal to the feelings you have for them, but not the actual experience? Something about this is not real, or you've made it more than what it was. So if you get it, it won't be as fulfilling or satisfying as you thought it would be. It would not be. It's like getting your dream job or finding your dream partner, and this person has so many flaws, or the job is not what you thought it would be. You I don't know. Something is just, it's disappointing. But it's not disappointing because of what it's not. It's disappointing because you put so much into it. You were so invested in it that you couldn't see it for what it was. So the opportunity is still good, right? There's still something here that's worth holding on to, or worth appreciating. It does have value, but it's like a flat soda. The fizz is gone. You've waited for so long for this, and you're wiser now. You're not as impressed about this as you would have been 10 years ago or 15 years ago, because you're older and wiser now. So it's like, you were loyal to the memory of whatever this was, or how you felt about this person or this opportunity when it came your way. But once it becomes a reality, it's not going to be as fulfilling as you thought it would be. That's not a bad thing. It just shows that you've matured and you've grown up a little bit. Like somebody saying, I wish I was rich, right? And they waited their whole lives to be rich, right? They made the wish when they were 20 years old, and now they're 45 years old, 50 years old. They've gotten married, divorced, had kids, whatever, parents are gone. Now they have the money, but it's not as enjoyable as it would have been if they were younger and more optimistic about life. Something like that. Something you really wanted for so long. You finally get it, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. It's just not. And it's not. It's just time. That's all. Time. So much time has gone past. You still wanted it, but it's just not going to taste the same. You see, you're chasing the colors, right? But the memories are black and white. The memories are black and white. You were using the memory of what this was to drive you, to motivate you in some way. This thing was a fantasy that kept you going. It was a goal. And now that you've reached it, it's like, I'm trapped. Do I really want this person? Do I really want this job? Do I really want that opportunity? Do I really want the house? Something like that. Rahu's also involved in this. The North Node. Chasing. You finally get it and it's like, do I really want this? Interesting. Knight of Swords. A very urgent message from an air sign. Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini. This is more so Aquarius energy. Receiving a message from an air sign. Well, this could be an air-like person. Interviewer, doctor, a lawyer. Temptation, the devil, right, and Hierophant. This is the chasing thing. It's like you were committed to and loyal to an idea. An illusion. This is a commitment. Something you really wanted. You've always wanted is coming back. It's coming back to you for another go around. You're tempted by this, by fate, or tempted by this offer. Damn. There's a catch-22 here. There's some. The Two of Swords is here somewhere. Nine of Swords is here. And the Five of Swords. Right. Now you're stuck in your head about this. Do I really want this? It's the Five of Swords. I really want this? Nine of Swords, worrying, anxiety. Is this going to be what I thought it was? Here's a tempting offer. Here's a job. Here's this lover. Here's your ex. Something you really wanted for a long time and you were holding on to it, to the memories of what it was. But then with those memories, you projected your hopes and wishes and your fears onto those memories. So it became like its own entity, like a ghost even. But it was always two-dimensional because it was never real. It's always in your imagination. Eight of Fire. Something moving rapidly. After like a really long delay, it's like things are picking up real quick and it's so fast that it's making you anxious. It's a tempting offer. You need to think about this. Take your time. Saturn is in Aries, is square Jupiter. Take your time to think. We're into retrograde soon. You don't want to make a deal or commit to something that you regret later on. One more. Ten of Swords is here. Yeah. Something that you had to let go of in the past is coming back to you. If it's the 10 of air, if it's done, you've made peace with it, you're not communicating anymore. What's the 8 of Wands for? Is it being restarted? Something being regrouped, reinvigorated, rebuilt? You walked away from something, now it's coming back to you. And you're like, do I really want this? 15 plus 9 is 24. That's the 6 of Swords. You walked away from something. The 2 of Swords is here. There's a tempting offer. Now, the 2 could represent 2 choices, right? A choice between 2 options that are very attractive. So if you've been single for a long time and you like being single, somebody coming back to you could make you could force you to make a difficult choice between your freedom and being with the love of your life, whatever that is. That's the problem. Hold on a second. That is the issue. With Saturn square Jupiter, you're going to have to make a sacrifice or a choice to get what you want. And you may have to sacrifice what's comfortable to gain more freedom, more power, more insight, more resources, more something. It's not bad. It's just you're anxious because it's coming in so quickly, and it's tempting because you're going to have to make a sacrifice. So what are you sacrificing here? Let me find out what the other cards are saying for this message. Let me see. Let me do a light seers. Light seers. Spirit guides, please continue this message for the collective, or for my audience, please. Please continue this message for the audience, for my subscribers. What else do they need to know about this? Let's clarify the messenger of air and the king of air, please. This could be a job offer. It could be a message that causes anxiety, but not because it's bad. It's because you've always wanted this, and it's like all this weight you put on it. You've invested heavily into this, and you've waited for a long time. With the Hierophant, the Devil card, the Temptation card, you waited for a while. One day, you waited for a long time for this. Nine of Pentacles reversed. King of Cups upright. Yeah, so there could be a message about a relationship. So Nine of Pentacles reversed is someone who has everything that they want but love. So I have the money, I have the house, I have the this, but I have no one to share with. Upright, this person doesn't care about that. They're completely happy on their own. They don't need anybody. They're good. Here, I have everything I want, but I want someone to share with. King of Cups. So there could be a message from an air sign or from a water sign. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. That's a bit disconcerting because it represents what you wanted this whole time. And you worked hard to get it. You could have waited 9 years. You could have waited 10 years. It's a long time, more than 7 years. Saturn is definitely involved in this. So you waited for a while, and now it's here. You're like, well, is that all? Cloud for the Hierophant and a Temptation card. Page of Wands, a new offer, new message. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. Do I really want this opportunity? Something's come back around. Queen of Pentacles, something's coming back around. Star card, something you wanted is coming back around. The Wheel of Fortune upright is like moving forward, Jupiter energy. But upside down, reverse, it's like repeating the same cycle, potentially with someone, and you wanted this person to come back. At one point you did, or you wanted an opportunity to redeem yourself in the workplace, or you wanted this career or this house, but now that it's here, I don't know, I'm getting unfulfillment, like this Four of Cups energy. Clarify the Eight of Wands and the Ten of Swords, please. Hangman, King of Pentacles, King and Queen are here. After a long period of waiting, Seven of Cups, Two of Swords, I figured that would come out. Catch 22. There's confusion now. Do I really want this? I waited for so long. I've it's like while you're waiting, you healed a part of yourself that would have made you crave this situation or need it for validation. This twin flame fantasy, which is not real, in my opinion. So you're fantasizing about somebody who you had a really strong connection with, or a job or whatever, and you superimposed all of your hopes, wishes, dreams, and desires onto this illusion And now that it's here, you're like, womp womp. Do I care? Still? So this is what happened, right? You were so invested in the idea of what this was supposed to be that you're now attached to the emotions that were being generated when you were thinking about this person more than the actual outcome itself. So you're loyal to the memories of what of the fantasy. You're loyal to the illusion or the ideal, or how you felt when you were in that space. So now you don't want to let it go, because that's a part of, I guess, a liminal space that you were in to escape from the humdrum of reality, to escape from depression, to escape from being bored or feeling unfulfilled in some way. So yeah, this is like a Jedi mind trick. The universe taught you a lesson, didn't it? Or it's teaching you a lesson, collective. It's teaching you that this is all an illusion. All of it. And you had to wait for years to get what you actually thought you wanted, to understand that it's an illusion. If you got what you wanted when you wanted it, you would have been too attached to the outcome of it. You would have saw it as real, like something that's like tangible, and nothing's real. Nothing on this planet is real. It's all illusory. This is the North Node as well. North Node is being activated in some way by transit, or natally you have this placement where like you have the North Node aspecting the sun, moon, or rising sign. The square, conjunction, or opposition, more likely a conjunction, but it's like, especially the North Node. The North Node is about illusions and fantasies. You put all this energy into the idea of what this was. Then you have to wait. And you waited and waited and waited. And you grew up and became more wise and more knowledgeable. Now it's coming back and you're like, damn, it wasn't that serious after all. You know, God is funny. That's the lesson. You learned a lesson about how this is all an illusion. It's a matrix. It's a simulation. So once you get what you thought you wanted, then that's it. That's the end of that particular game, of that stage in the game. And you're like, it's for nothing. I wanted this so bad for so long that it's actually here, and I don't feel any different. Because you've grown up, you've become more wise. And now your identity or your sense of self-worth and value is not attached to the outcome of whatever this was. And you were chasing it for years, or dreaming about it for years, because for you it was your salvation. But God was showing you that's not your salvation. This is not your salvation. It's just an illusion. And so you have to go through some sort of character development, trials and tribulations, depressions, losses, disappointments, delays. You went through all that Saturnian experiences, only to get what you want at the end and realize it was all for naught. This is definitely the North Node playing tricks on you. Very important. Let me see what the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck is saying. Let me do the Gaia Oracle first. Let me get this first. Gaia Oracle first. Seems to be relevant to this message. Spirit guides, I need another card to further explain what's happening here for the collective, or for my subscribers specifically. Eternal love, happiness, harmony, and fulfillment. And you have obtained that without this person or this job. It's only coming back to you because you've gotten to that point or to that place without it. Nine of Pentacles reverse is this person coming back to you once you've gotten to the point where you don't care anymore. King of Swords and the Messenger of Air. You think you care because there's still some there's still some energy attached to the memory of what this was. But in reality, you don't. This is so crazy. In reality, you do not care about this. You think you do because you care about the memories. You have a sentimental attachment to the memory of what you thought this was. Neptune. Loyalty. Blind loyalty to the memory of what this was. Or the memory of not just a memory. It's like there's a goal or an objective that you set for yourself many years ago. And it took you forever to get to this point, and now that you're here, like, it's inconsequential. You've leveled up. Guys, you've leveled up spiritually. Wow. You passed the test. You've passed the test. The sun is here. You've passed the test. Happiness, harmony, fulfillment comes from within. It doesn't come from the job, doesn't come from money, doesn't come from the twin flame, it comes from you. And now that you have, I guess you're realizing that now, or you've realized that recently. And so now you're getting everything. It's like, oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to say this. Maybe at one point you've lost everything you thought you wanted. And so you were stripped bare. Pluto and Capricorn, especially if you were a cardinal sign. You were stripped of everything you valued, Pluto and the earth sign. And you worked really hard to get back to that place you were in before you lost everything, right? Whether it was, lost a job, lost a house, lost a marriage, lost a spouse, or whatever. You lost all this stuff, and the memory of what this represented to you kept you motivated, and you were invested in the outcome of getting what you thought you wanted. Now that you have it, you're like, is this it? You've evolved. You've learned your lesson, collective. You've passed the test. You've passed the test. So this is not a punishment. This job offer, this relationship is a reward to show you that you've actually grown and evolved, because it wouldn't have come back to you had you not let it go. Like, you let it go. I think you did let it go, but the memories were still there. But you had emotionally let go of the idea of being with this person or getting this job, or you let that go. There was an ego death here. But you thought you still cared because the memories of what you thought this was supposed to be is still affecting you in some way. You're still attached to that. This is the moon in Cancer, or Cancer, period. Right? Cancer deals with our emotions, how we feel, past lives, imprints, instincts, the subconscious, things that sort of like were buried underneath the ground and that have like a shadow influence. The North Node, this is Rahu. Rahu taught you a lesson. You got faked out by something. You lost everything you thought you wanted or something like that. You just lost it all. Now that you don't care about it, it's coming back to prove to you it wasn't worth anything anyway. So now you have eternal love for yourself. And this person can't give you salvation. Purification by fire. Bare essentials. Naked truth. Wholeness. You've become whole. The sun. You've evolved. You've been restored in some way. Because you have to wait for this. You went through a lot of stuff. Purgatory. Torments. Pain. Fear. Whatever. But it wasn't punishment. God was teaching you how to detach from the idea of being validated or seeking salvation through material things. A person, a relationship, a job, a house. The illusions of Maya. That got burned away with the sun. Now you have love. This is so nice. Now you love yourself enough. You learn to love yourself. What's underneath here? I'm nervous. Eternal dance, eternal love. Movement, wheel of life, path of least resistance. You let go. You let go of expecting something, of wanting something. But the memory of what you wanted kept you motivated. And while you were going after the memory of something, you evolved. It was like a dual twin thing happening here. So okay. So So there's your soul, and then there's your auric field, or your ethereal body and your physical body. Well, there's the mind and the emotions, spirit, and there's some duality here, where one frequency was moving in a different direction than the other. So it's like they were evolving in different directions. Your emotions were going one way, but you were evolving in another. It's like it was diametrically opposed. This sine wave. There was some frequency balancing. So one was going up and down. So the more you went after something, the more it evaded you. The more you wanted it, the less you were going to get. There's something like you were being trained to be, to detach from people, ideas, your ego. Eternal love and eternal dance. Movement, wheel of life, path of least resistance, and you stop resisting the loss. You stop resisting the disappointment. You accepted it. You accepted what it was. But I think I don't think, it's almost like when you were growing up, right, you didn't notice that you were getting taller or bigger. It was just happening. Time was just passing and you were growing. Like every day you weren't growing an inch or 2 inches. It took time for that to happen. So you weren't really keeping track of, you weren't aware of how you were growing like that. It just happens, right? So you go from being a 2-year-old to a 10-year-old to a 15-year-old. You're not really aware until like puberty hits. And then even then, it's something that happens unconsciously or beyond your control. So you were being trained and groomed and taught a lesson that you weren't even aware of. But I guess you've passed the test. You've passed the test. A really hard test. Purification by fire. This is depression. This is anger. This is grief. This is a lot of loss that you went through. 14. Number 5. Number 14. This is the devil. Number 15. 24. 19. This is Venus. And this is the sun. Number 14 is a death card. No, 13 is a death card. And the traditional water weight. That's interesting. Very interesting. Let me get this mystical pocket deck. Fascinating, guys. Fascinating. I'm going to use this card and I'm going to close it out. This final card for the collective. Spirit guys, what's going on for the collective as it pertains to this message for my subscribers? You were growing and evolving and you weren't even aware of it. You're being raised. Eagle, number 16. A bird's eye view. This is also one of the totems for Scorpio transformation. You have the snake, the eagle, and the phoenix. You're at the eagle stage now. So you're able to see things from a higher perspective. You've evolved, guys. You've shed the ego. Now you're not possessive or jealous or attached to the idea of whatever is validating your ego, a person, a relationship. Now it's come back to you. It's like everything you've lost is being returned back to you with interest. Like Job, the trials of Job for 20 years. This is a long time period. Long time. Someday, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't know what's going to end. You don't know where it begins. This someday, I'll get what I want. The twin flame will come back. I'll get the career, the money, or the house, or the whatever I want. And you have to wait a long time. Very long time. Number 16. Eagle. The essence, ego comes from the east, the place of the rising sun, new beginnings, eternal love. She soars high in the sky, sees the smallest detail with clarity without losing track of the bigger picture, and nests in the high mountains. What's the bigger picture? The bigger picture is that the things that you were chasing will not bring you fulfillment. That you don't need them for that now. You've obtained a fulfillment without that stuff. For ego, there are no obstacles, only opportunities. Saturn obstacles, Jupiter opportunities. She calls you to ascend, to acquire perspective, so you can fly wing to wing with the Great Spirit. The invitation. Have you become trapped in your daily routine and feel you do not know where to go and what to do next? Have you lost your sense of purpose? Ego invites you to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? And you went through a lot of stuff, collective. You did go through a lot of turmoil. Ego reminds you that your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. As you contemplate choices, Two of Swords, Jupiter, Saturn, ask yourself, do I want to live in a chicken coop, shelter from life, Saturn, counting the regular feedings, or do I want to soar like an eagle? That's Jupiter. If your answer is the latter, then you must accept eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom, Jupiter and Cancer. So you were loyal to an idea that was keeping you stuck or trapped in the perpetual cycle of disappointment and unfulfillment. Your emotional attachment to what you thought this was making you depressed and downtrodden and negative, and the wheel was not turning in your favor. Now that you've made some changes, you see things from a different perspective. You've been purified by trauma and release and everything else. Now you have an opportunity to start over. You can start over now. The medicine. It is time to see through the eyes of ego. Let your vision of the whole and of its parts become laser-like and set your priorities straight. What did you come to do in this life? Did you come to climb up the ladder of financial or social status? Did you come to climb up the ladder of financial or social success? Did you come to become a better person, to heal your heart, and to realize your essential self? What is your divine mission on earth? And I think you may have thought that your goal or purpose here was to get married, have a big house, be married, get a good job, whatever. That's not the goal. That will not bring you fulfillment. It'll bring you temporary happiness, but it's not fulfillment. So you may have been denied those things. You may have been denied marriage, denied money, denied stability. And now you have that within yourself. No more excuses. Of course, you do not have enough time, enough money, or enough sleep. Yet the time is now to fly to your chosen purpose. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So whatever Jupiter is in your chart, that's where you have to go. If you postpone it, you are betraying yourself. Look through the eyes of the ego and consider every obstacle an opportunity. Every obstacle, Saturn, is an opportunity. Jupiter, square. Okay? Where you set your intention is where you will end up. Free yourself and live your highest destiny. Fly. And I think you're afraid of flying because you're overthinking. You're overthinking. Am I prepared? Do I have enough? Am I enough? Am I enough? Am I ready for this? I'm getting PTSD here. The fear could also be like, okay, I tried so many times in the past and I failed. I don't think you'll fail this time. You've learned your lesson. Because now you're flying without being attached to a specific idea, outcome, or destination. Right? You're not seeking validation from the journey or from the destination. Right? Your validation comes from the experience itself, not the controlling of the outcome, not the goal, not the object, not the person, not the job. It comes from the experience. And you're seeing that now. You are seeing that now. One more card. Do I need one more card? I think I'm done with this for now. That's it. I'm looking. That is all for now, guys. Thank you guys for listening. I look forward to your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.